Delta Goodrem arrived on the scene about 20 years ago. Debut album topped the Australian charts for 29 straight weeks. Sixth album, Bridge Over Troubled Dreams, coincides with her first book of the same title. Both are out tomorrow. And given the bubble, she's on her way here in October. Delta Goodrem from Sydney. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm extremely well, thank you. So the sixth album, what do you think?
Oh, goodness. Well, I feel like it was that moment in life where it was time to go to another layer, to go back to basics of going back to what I love, the piano, and telling more stories about what I've learned in this kind of first chapter of life.
Do you love it? I mean, do you listen? How much do you listen to? How much do you listen to it and critique yourself, or it is what it is?
Oh, I'll always critique myself. I'm the person that will always, I think you have to be able to observe yourself and say, okay, like where can I improve next, and also be able to say, like, I'm proud of that. That was a good job. I worked really hard on this record. I love it dearly. It's very, very personal, and it's things that I'd never shared in music before. And I think overall, just keeping it quite live and very organic and raw, it was a really important time for me to do that.
Talk me through the recording process, because I'm always interested in these COVID era recordings. Where was it? How did it all come together?
Well, it started not in the pandemic, and then it finished in the pandemic. So there was two different ways about this record, that's for sure. Actually, this record had quite a few different processes, but I've definitely learned through my life that every album is very, very different in its process, and because you change and evolve. But this one was, I just sat back at the piano. I actually went back to the very start of my life. There's a song on the record called Crash, which is about, being born from a car crash, and then sort of speaking about all these stories of how did I get here. And then I just sat at the piano and talked about these themes and wrote down concepts of what had gone on. And to go deeper than that, I had shared with people that I had a reset in my life from having a paralysis of nerve damage in my tongue. And then I spoke about that moment being really the start of this record, to kind of be quiet, listen, and start that process.
Did you bring your mum on board? The Crash song involves your mum, of course. Is she on board with it and go, yeah, tell it, or you just do your own thing?
Of course. Well, I wrote it first, and then I asked Mum. Then I said, Mum, I did write a song. I didn't think it was my story to tell, but then I started to think, okay, well, you've shared with me these stories throughout the years, so I definitely got my mum and dad's approval first before sharing the music. But, normally they like to be involved. Well, my dad used to tell people that he was the backing singer to a lot of the records, which he is not, by the way. And Mum likes to be kind of an interpretive dancer along the way, I guess.
I love it.
She kind of likes to move, but neither of them are, so they're happy when they're included in the lyrics instead.
I love it. Your experience from the reason I ask about the album and how you critique yourself, your experience from The Voice and, helping talent and all that sort of stuff. Who helps you?
Oh, I've been so lucky through the years. I've definitely had artist mentors. I've had industry mentors. I continue to have mentors. I have definite guiding lights throughout my entire career. I really have. I really value those friendships and those relationships. And I'm definitely, Mike, I'd definitely say a long-term kind of girl, hence why I've been here, for a long time. I'm definitely somebody who I have like my very close friends and my dear people that I trust and go to, and that's kind of who I run with.
Did you have to learn that? Because, of course, the music industry is full of so many charlatans. How do you know they've got your best interests at heart, or they're just simply riding the Goodrem train?
Of course. I mean, that's a great question. I think if that's a learning process, I don't think I've always got that right, of course. I think I actually wrote a book about this record, and in the book, to do with the album, I talk about those lessons learned where you go, look, sometimes like in my early 20s, I definitely believed everybody that was around me. I definitely was the case study of thinking everyone has your best interests. Of course, I've learnt those lessons, Mike. I've gone through those different chapters, but I'm very grateful for the wonderful people in my life today, and that's why we have I have a wonderful team, a wonderful music, wonderful work ethics around us. But you definitely learn the hard way. I definitely don't think you just all of a sudden know one day.
Exactly.
I don't think you just know. I think you learn from experience.
So you're comfortable. You're in a good place. Age, experience. You're in a good place. You know what you're about. You know what you want to do, what you've achieved, what you want to achieve, and all of that.
And still feeling feeling like I've just, still feeling like I've just begun. I'm still young, and but I definitely am. I think from starting from a young age, I've definitely learned that I'm thankful for who I am today, and the experiences have made me who I am. And this record really is about, owning that story.
All right, the album Bridge Over Troubled Dreams, book's the same name. Now, the book that goes with the record, Delta, there's the audio version. You've narrated the book.
Yes.
What's it like?
That was something new.
I was going to say, it's why I thought, how freaky is that to hear go, oh, this isn't interesting. Oh, hang on, it's about me.
Yeah, no, it was definitely different. I definitely took a second. I was like, hang on a minute, does that sound right when I'm saying this out loud? But audiobooks, I mean, it's a different way of consuming the work. But I love that we did some audio. The place I felt a little more comfortable with that was doing acoustic versions of the record that you hear throughout the book. So I did read it and then have a bit of a sing. Yeah. Go back to my safe place.
Tell me about the nerve on the tongue thing. So what was that?
Well, it was from an operation that had a routine operation where I had some complications from a gland. And then, as fate would have it, I woke up and there'd obviously been a little bit of pressure, and I ended up sort of having a journey from having nerve damage from when I woke up. But I'm singing like a bird now, and I'm getting to New Zealand very soon.
Yes,
I'm going to come and sing for you all.
Good, and we're looking.
It was definitely a journey.
and what rehab involved? I mean, there must have been a fear that you didn't know whether you were going to sing again.
I mean, definitely, of course. Like, I think that it would be remiss not to think that those thoughts didn't happen. But at the same time, I had to have faith, and I believed in my heart that I just had to work hard at it, and I didn't know how long that was going to be. But I worked hard at speech therapy, and I learned a lot, and I really am grateful to be, speaking today and singing today.
How long did all of it take?
I mean, it was off and on. It was quite a private journey, and that was what I shared kind of last year, because obviously I know my voice inside out and backwards, and people might not hear something, or you might hear something. It's definitely a very intricate detail when you're a singer.
Yeah, exactly. Were you fearful?
Oh, I mean, like, goodness, I'm feeling positive now, and I understand people live with communication challenges, but of course I went through the many different emotions.
Fantastic. Now, in touring here, you got the bubble. Actually, I talked to John Butler. Do you know John Butler?
I don't know him personally. I think we crossed paths many, many years ago when we first started. I think at like an awards ceremony or something many years ago. He's
super excited. He thinks he's going to be the first person using the Trans-Tasman bubble to get here and do a couple of...
He just?
Yes, he did.
When's his tour, hey?
Well, I said in the next couple of weeks, he said, I'm going to be the first, Mike. I said, well, wait on, I'm talking to Delta. I don't think that's true. Anyway, the upshot is, do you second guess that, or the bubble could be closed any moment if something goes wrong in New South Wales or whatever, but you just got to get on with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I moved it from April originally, but in September, October, I'll be in New Zealand, and it truly is. I haven't got to sing there enough. I've had records over in your beautiful country for years and years, and I'm finally bringing the tour there, which it's really time, and I'm looking forward to it. And I, of course, will keep all fingers and toes crossed at all times, and health is the most important thing at any time. So, 100%. But I will be getting on the plane, and I will be going onto that bubble no matter what, and we will be singing. We will be having a celebration.
Good on you. This is basically your year sorted then, isn't it? A book, an album, a tour. What else do you need to do?
Well, you never know in music, or you never know where it takes you. You have to be open at all times. Fantastic.
Well, listen, good luck with the album, good luck with the book, and we'll look forward to seeing you when you get to the country in a couple of months.
Thanks so much. Can't wait to see you then.
Delta Goodrem out of Sydney this morning. So Auckland, Kitakanawa Theatre, October 21, October 22, the next night. In other words, the Capital Michael Fowler Centre. The fabulously refurbished Christchurch Town Hall on the 23rd of October. Tickets available at Ticketmaster for Auckland and Wellington, Ticketmaster, and Ticketek for Christchurch and Delta Goodrem.